Yo, Vikings fans. Skol Nation, rise up. The 2025 NFL season is knocking, and the Minnesota Vikings are stepping into a new era with J.J. McCarthy at the helm. But hold up. Did we let two starting caliber QBs slip away in Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones? Are we banking too much on a second-year guy with 0 NFL snaps? Buckle up, because today we're diving into the hottest Vikings quarterback news, breaking down the risks, the backups, and some spicy reunion rumors that'll have you screaming, "Skol," or scratching your head. What's the deal with our QB room, and can McCarthy lead this Super Bowl-ready roster? Let's unpack it. The stage is set. After a 14-3 season that ended in a gut-punch wild-card loss to the Rams, the Vikings are all in on J.J. McCarthy as QB1. But whispers on X and across the web are buzzing about whether we made a mistake letting Darnold walk to Seattle for a massive $100.5 million deal. And what's this about Daniel Jones? Did we really let a potential starter go to Indy? Let me know in the comments what you think about our QB moves. Stick around as we break this down in 10 electrifying segments, filled with stats, suspense, and all the passion of a U.S. Bank Stadium roar. Here's the teaser. A rookie QB with a meniscus injury behind him, a backup who's a wild card, and rumors of a Kirk Cousins reunion. Yeah, it's going to be a wild ride. From McCarthy's big shot to Howell's make-or-break moment, we're diving deep into Vikings news to see if our quarterback room is a masterpiece or a mess. Grab your purple gear, hit that like button, and let's roll into the biggest Vikings quarterback storylines of 2025. The Vikings made a bold call letting Sam Darnold walk after he lit it up with 35 touchdown passes in 2024. That's right, 35 TDs. A career high for the guy who carried us to a 14-3 record, but with a $100.5 million, 3-year deal from the Seahawks, including a $32 million signing bonus, Minnesota said, "Skol, but no thanks." Why? Because we've got J.J. McCarthy, the number 10 overall pick in 2024, waiting to take the throne. Darnold's departure wasn't just about money. The Vikings are building around McCarthy, a 22-year-old with a national championship pedigree from Michigan. But here's the kicker. Darnold's deal with Seattle is structured smartly. Only $37.5 million guaranteed, meaning they could cut ties after 2025 if it flops. If Kevin O'Connell stays our coach, don't be shocked if reunion rumors with Darnold pop up again. What do you think? Did we make the right call letting him go? Drop your thoughts below. This move screams confidence in McCarthy, but it's a gamble. Darnold proved he could handle O'Connell's quarterback-friendly system, and now he's Seattle's problem, or their steal. Meanwhile, we're banking on a guy who missed his entire rookie season with a knee injury. Can McCarthy step up? Or are we one bad play away from wishing we kept Darnold? Stay tuned, because the next piece of this puzzle is a doozy. Now, let's talk about Daniel Jones. There's chatter that the Vikings signed him in 2024 after the Giants cut him mid-season, hoping he'd be McCarthy's backup or even compete for QB1. But here's where it gets murky. Some reports claim Jones signed with the Colts for $14 million and might have already locked down their starting gig over Anthony Richardson. If true, did we let a legit starter slip through our fingers? Hold up, though, there's no concrete evidence the Vikings had Jones on the roster in 2024. Sources like Vikings Wire and Heavy suggest we were interested, but nothing confirms he signed here. Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk says Jones feels like Indy's Week 1 starter, but that's speculative. So, let's set the record straight. Jones is with the Colts, not us, and we didn't let him walk like some claim. Still, the idea of losing a potential QB1 stings, doesn't it? What's your take on Jones landing in Indy? This whole saga raises questions about our QB depth. If Jones was never ours, we didn't lose him, but it shows how fast the QB market moves. With McCarthy as our guy, the Vikings passed on veteran insurance like Jones to focus on youth. Was that smart, or are we too thin behind JJ? Let's dive into the guy we did grab to back him up next. Enter Sam Howell, our QB2 heading into training camp. The Vikings traded a 5th-round pick swap with Seattle to get the former 5th-rounder, who's now on his 3rd team in 4 years. Howell's a gunslinger, tough, fearless, and capable of big plays, but he's also got a rep as a career backup. Can he step up if McCarthy falters? Or are we banking on a guy who might not be ready for a Super Bowl push? Howell's got 17 starts under his belt from his time with the Commanders, throwing for 3,946 yards and 21 TDs in 2022. Not bad, but his 21 interceptions that year raised eyebrows. Still, Kevin O'Connell's system is built to maximize QBs, and Howell's got the arm to make it work. The question is, can he handle the pressure if McCarthy goes down? Vikings fans, would you trust Howell to start a playoff game? Hit the comments. The Vikings are giving Howell the QB2 spot by default, but he's not unchallenged. Behind him, we've got Brett Rippon and undrafted rookie Max Brosmer fighting for QB3 or practice squad roles. It's a thin room, and if McCarthy struggles, Howell's our first line of defense. Let's see why this depth chart has some folks nervous. J.J. McCarthy is the centerpiece of this Vikings offense, and the hype is real. At 22, he's the youngest projected starting QB in the NFL for 2025, per NFL on CBS. After missing his rookie year with a torn meniscus, he showed poise in the 2024 preseason, earning raves from fans and media. But 0 regular season snaps? That's a red flag for a team with Super Bowl dreams. The good news? McCarthy's got a quarterback-proof roster around him. Think about it. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, and a top-tier offensive line. NFL insider Albert Breer calls it one of the best setups for a young QB, and Kevin O'Connell's play calling is a cheat code. T.J. Hawkinson even said McCarthy's got that dog in him. But can he deliver on 3rd and long in a playoff game? What's the one trait you want to see from JJ in Week 1? Here's the deal. The Vikings aren't asking McCarthy to be Patrick Mahomes. As Alec Lewis from The Athletic put it, take what's there. No need to be a hero. If JJ can hit intermediate routes and avoid turnovers, this offense could hum. But if he struggles early, the pressure's on. Let's talk about what happens if things go south. What if McCarthy's not ready? That's where the break glass in case of emergency options come in, and boy, are they juicy. Whispers on X and in Vikings news suggest we could trade for our old pal Kirk Cousins from the Atlanta Falcons. Kirk threw for 4,094 yards and 29 TDs with us in 2022. Imagine him back in purple. But at 37, with a $180 million deal in Atlanta, is a reunion realistic? Then there's Ryan Tannehill and Carson Wentz, both free agents who could be signed on the cheap. Tannehill, a former Pro Bowler, has 34,881 career passing yards, while Wentz has shown flashes of brilliance with 22,292 yards and 153 TDs. Either could stabilize the ship if McCarthy or Howell flops. But let's be real. Would you rather see Kirk back or a new vet like Tannehill? Drop your pick in the comments. The Vikings didn't add a big-name veteran in the offseason, which shows faith in McCarthy. But if JJ struggles or gets hurt again, these names could heat up before the trade deadline. The question is, do we need a safety net, or is McCarthy ready to lead? Let's look at why the front office is so high on him. Kevin O'Connell and GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah have built a roster that screams, Skol. After 2 playoff trips in 3 years, they're betting on McCarthy to keep the momentum going. O'Connell's system turned Darnold into a 35 TD machine, and now it's JJ's turn. PFF says McCarthy's ceiling is Joe Burrow level, with a floor that's still starter-worthy. That's huge for Vikings fans. McCarthy's got the intangibles: leadership, poise, and a knack for winning. He went 27-1 as a starter at Michigan, including a national title. But the NFL's a different beast, and his knee injury robbed him of a year to grow. Are you buying the hype, or is it too soon to crown him? Let me know below. The Vikings are giving McCarthy a 2-year runway to prove himself, per Mike Florio. Even if 2025 isn't a home run, he's likely QB1 in 2026 unless it's a total disaster. That's a lot of faith, but with this roster, he's got no excuses. Let's see what's at stake if he doesn't deliver. The Vikings' 14-3 season in 2024 set the bar sky high. With a defense that's among the NFL's toughest and skill players like Jefferson and Hawkinson, this roster is Super Bowl ready. But as Cody Benjamin from CBS Sports points out, our biggest red flag is the QB spot. A 22-year-old with no NFL experience leading a contender? That's a bold bet. If McCarthy struggles, the Vikings could still make noise with Howell or a veteran trade. But a shaky QB could derail our playoff hopes. Imagine Justin Jefferson wide open and the ball sailing out of bounds. That's the nightmare scenario. What's your biggest worry for this QB room in 2025? Hit the comments. The pressure's on, but McCarthy's got the tools to succeed. O'Connell's playbook is designed for second and manageable situations, keeping JJ out of trouble. If he can manage the game and let the roster do the heavy lifting, we're in business. But what about the backup battle behind him? Let's zoom in on the QB2 competition. Sam Howell's the frontrunner, but Brett Rypien and Max Brosmer are lurking. Rypien, a career backup with stints in Denver and LA, is a safe bet for QB3. Brosmer, an undrafted rookie from Minnesota, is a fan favorite but likely practice squad bound. Vikings Wire says Howell's basically competing against himself, but the team could still add a veteran. Howell's got the edge with his experience, but his turnover issues are a red flag. In 2022, he threw 21 picks, yikes. O'Connell's system could clean that up, but if McCarthy goes down, Howell's got to be clutch. Do you think Howell's ready to step up? Or should we sign a vet like Tannehill? Let's hear it. The Vikings' depth chart is thin, and that's a concern for a team with big goals. If Howell falters, Rypien or Brosmer aren't inspiring confidence for a playoff run. That's why those Cousins and Tannehill rumors keep swirling. Let's talk about what's next for this QB room. Training camp is just weeks away, and all eyes are on McCarthy. The Real Forno Show called out key players like Jefferson and Hawkinson who'll make JJ shine, but the spotlight's on him to deliver. Vikings news is buzzing with optimism, but there's a catch. If McCarthy struggles early, O'Connell might hit the panic button. Could we see a mid-season trade for Cousins? The Falcons would likely deal Cousins for a reasonable price, especially if their season tanks. Kirk knows O'Connell's system like the back of his hand, and a reunion would be electric. But the Vikings passed on adding a big-name QB in the draft or free agency, so they're all in on JJ. Are you Team McCarthy or Team Veteran? Drop your vote below. This camp will be a proving ground. McCarthy's got to show he can handle the NFL speed, but he's got a coach who's a QB whisperer and a roster built to win now. The question is, can he put it all together, or will we be calling for a familiar face by week 4? All right, Vikings fans, let's wrap this up. The 2025 season is McCarthy's time to shine, but the shadow of Darnold's success, Howell's uncertainty, and those juicy Cousins rumors keep things spicy. This QB room is a high-stakes gamble, but with O'Connell's genius and a stacked roster, the Vikings are ready to roll. What's your bold prediction for JJ's first season? Hit the comments and let's talk. Skol Nation, this is why we love Vikings news. Drama, hope, and a whole lot of purple pride. Whether McCarthy's a star or we're trading for Kirk by November, we're in for a wild ride. Don't miss a single update, subscribe, hit the bell, and join the conversation. Who's your QB1 for 2025? Share this video with your fellow Vikings fans and let's get that Skol chant going. Before we go, let's hear it one more time. Skol Vikings. Like this video, drop your thoughts below, and tell us, can JJ McCarthy lead us to the promised land, or do we need a veteran savior? Keep it locked on Vikings news for all the latest, and let's make 2025 our year. Skol.